Let's go. Pripyat is an abandoned city in Ukraine that has become a legend for anyone interested in the post-apocalypse. It was founded in 1970 as a satellite town of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. On April 26, 1986, a terrible accident occurred at the plant's fourth reactor, resulting in the evacuation of Pripyat's entire population of approximately 50,000 people. Decades after the disaster, Pripyat still suffers from radioactive fallout. The city remains closed. For ordinary people, only authorized tourist trips to the exclusion zone are possible. In most places, radiation levels are not high enough to pose a direct health threat. Today, the city streets of Pripyat are overgrown with vegetation, and abandoned buildings bearing the symbols of the USSR are slowly crumbling. All this creates an incomparable atmosphere. Scientists predict that people will be able to return to the 30-kilometer exclusion zone around the Chernobyl nuclear power plant only in 50 to 60 years. During this time, the activity of radioactive elements will decrease, and the most dangerous substances will be completely sealed. The Citarum River in Indonesia holds the not-so-honorable title of the dirtiest river in the world. The first thing you'll notice upon arriving on its banks is the terrible, thick smell of rotting garbage, mixed with the acrid odor of chemical waste. The figures that report the river's environmental indicators are simply shocking. For example, lead concentrations in it exceed the permissible standard for drinking water by 1,000 times, and the level of fecal coliform bacteria is 5,000 times higher than the norm. About 5 million people live in the river basin. Most of them lack access to proper waste disposal, so everything, including huge quantities of plastic, is burned or dumped into the river. Another aspect of the problem is industry. The region is home to more than 2,000 enterprises, most of which are textile factories, which dump chemical waste directly into the river. Environmentalists estimate that 60% of the Chernobyl fish population has died due to this pollution. As for the people who are forced to use this water for household needs and cooking, they suffer from a wide range of diseases, ranging from dermatitis and chronic bronchitis to cancer and developmental delays in children. In 2009, the Asian Development Bank allocated $500 million for a river cleanup project, but the situation remains dire. According to activists, many factories continue to poison the river through hidden pipes. It's hard to believe that in the 21st century, tribes living in complete isolation from civilization can exist. But several uncontacted people still exist on the planet. One of them is the Sentinelese, known for their warlike nature. They live on North Sentinel, a small island in the Bay of Bengal, part of the Andaman archipelago. The island is completely covered in dense tropical forest and surrounded by a protective coral reef, which, however, was severely damaged by the powerful tsunami in December 2004. There is no further information about the island or the tribe inhabiting it, because the Sentinelese do not allow anyone to set foot on the shore. They immediately attack boats and helicopters with bows and arrows and are completely unwilling to engage in contact. Anthropologists believe this tribe has lived in complete isolation for about 30,000 years, leading the life of Stone Age hunter-gatherers. Even the Sentinelese population is unknown, as the jungle protects them from aerial surveillance. Lahore is the capital of Punjab province and the second largest city in Pakistan. Its metropolitan area is home to approximately 10 million people. In recent years, this metropolis has faced a massive air pollution problem, which is causing respiratory diseases among the local population. The toxic smog, which can be seen even visually, is caused by numerous industries, the burning of agricultural waste and diesel exhaust. In calm weather, breathing here is incredibly difficult, and air purifiers are rarely available. According to environmentalists, the air quality index here is 348 points, which is well above the dangerous level of 300 points. That's why you can't rest easy if you live next to a volcano. Stratokan Sinabung is located in Indonesia, in the northern part of the island of Sumatra. With a relative height of 1,113 meters, the mountain has long since ceased to cause concern among local residents. The volcano had been dormant for over 400 years. Everything changed in August of this year, when it suddenly erupted. Gas and ash emissions forced residents of 12 nearby villages to abandon their homes and flee to safety. Since then, Bunga's activity has continued unabated. In recent years, eruptions have occurred approximately 10 times. They have included lava flows, as well as columns of volcanic ash and hot gas up to 3 kilometers high. After the powerful eruption that occurred on February 11, 2014, this part of Sumatra was practically abandoned. In total, due to the volcano's activity, approximately 20,000 people were forced to relocate to other regions. Traveling along the Amazon River by boat is quite a risky adventure. This great river flows into the Atlantic Ocean, forming one of the largest deltas in the world, with an area of over 100,000 square kilometers. The Amazon is striking in its diversity of flora and fauna. It is home to over 1 million different species of plants and animals. It is truly a global gene pool. Among this wealth are some highly aggressive species, deadly to humans. In the jungle, travelers are threatened by venomous snakes, giant anacondas, and scalopedra. And in the water, the black caiman, capable of growing over 4.5 meters in length, is especially awe-inspiring. And the piranha, with its terrifying razor-sharp teeth. Such a surreal, vibrant landscape can only be seen in one place on Earth, the Danakil Depression, located in the northern part of the Afar Basin on the border of Ethiopia and Eritrea. It is a truly unique, mysterious geographical formation. Here you can find sulfur springs and volcanoes, geysers, acid pools, and vast salt fields. Only one thing is certain about the Danakil. The conditions here are completely unsuitable for humans. The 250-kilometer-long depression is among the lowest places on the planet, 125 meters below sea level, and holds the title of the hottest place in terms of average temperature. It never drops below 34 degrees Celsius 93 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, and rain occurs only a few times a year. Due to volcanic and hydrothermal activity, the air here is filled with the smell of rust, hydrogen sulfide, and chlorine. And the lakes are so salty that birds that accidentally dive into the water die immediately. Even for the Afar people, who have roamed these territories for centuries, visiting the toxic depression is no easy task. Scientists who study extreme environments and ecosystems call expeditions here a journey into the kingdom of death. Mount Everest, also known as Sagarmatha or Jamalungma, needs no introduction. It is the undisputed highest peak in the world at 8,848 meters. The Sharps, who live in eastern Nepal, call it the mountain over which birds cannot fly. Everest is located in the Mahalangur Himalayas, dividing Nepal and Tibet. The summit is shaped like a three-sided pyramid, with a steep southern slope that cannot hold even snow and ice. As the highest peak on Earth, Everest has always attracted the attention of climbers. The first successful ascent took place in 1953. It was accomplished by local guide Tenzing Narge and New Zealander Edmund Hillary. By 1983, only 8 people had reached the summit. Climbing conditions here are monstrously difficult. The challenging terrain on all possible ascent routes is compounded by the weather. The average daytime temperature on the Jamalung summit in July is minus 19 degrees Celsius, and in the winter months minus 36 degrees Celsius, with drops to minus 60 degrees Celsius. Furthermore, the summit lies on the edge of the atmospheric jet stream, so storms with wind gusts up to 160 kilometers per hour, 100 miles per hour, are common, and summer monsoons on Everest turn into extensive snowfalls. At an altitude of 7,925 meters, 25,500 feet, the death zone begins. Here, the air contains only a third of the amount of oxygen present in the atmosphere at sea level. Therefore, most climbers use oxygen masks. Many fatalities among high-altitude climbers are related to the effects of the dead zone, both directly due to lack of oxygen and low pressure, and indirectly, when the stress of exhaustion leads to tragic mistakes. In total, over 300 people have died in the century-long history of climbing Mount Everest. In addition to health problems, avalanches, falls from heights, and ice avalanches have also led to fatalities. The favelas of Rio de Janeiro are legendary places with a very bad reputation. These are neighborhoods of cheap and chaotic housing, where poverty and crime reign, and violence is the norm. Their origins are deeply rooted in history. The term favela originally arose in the late 19th century to designate the section of Morro de Favela Hill where the first shantytowns were built. Former soldiers, refugees, freed slaves, and poor European migrants were typical inhabitants of the shantytowns during that era. In the 20th century, the number of favelas only grew thanks to urbanization and the exacerbation of social problems. Chief among these, unemployment and the rise of organized crime linked to drug trafficking have not disappeared. Today, according to rough estimates, approximately 1.5 million people live in the informal quarters of Rio de Janeiro. The territory of the favelas, scattered across the hills, is divided between gangs. For an outsider or a carefree tourist without a guide, a stroll here can be very expensive. Moreover, the police only appear here during assaults. And although the country's authorities are making efforts to develop infrastructure and integrate the favelas, they still remain a separate world with their own harsh laws. In recent years, the very name Fukushima has become a byword, a symbol of the terrible nuclear threat. On March 11, 2011, a massive earthquake measuring 9.0 on the Richter scale struck off the coast of Japan. However, the most horrific event of those days was the disaster at the Fukushima No. 1 nuclear power plant. It was a radiation accident rated at level 7 on the International Nuclear Event Scale. A tsunami almost instantly knocked out power to the plant, including the emergency cooling systems. The reactors overheated, the nuclear fuel melted, and 3 power units exploded. Large quantities of volatile radioactive elements were released into the environment. The total volume of iodine and cesium isotopes, the most dangerous in terms of health risks, amounted to approximately 20% of the emissions from the Chernobyl accident. Cesium, however, has the property of long-term contamination with a half-life of 30 years. Such dangerous contamination forced the national government to evacuate approximately 164,000 people from Fukushima Prefecture and create a 20-kilometer exclusion zone around the plant itself. Although work to restore contaminated areas began almost immediately after the accident, and many municipalities have now been declared safe for return, people are reluctant to return to radiation-poisoned areas. For example, one 28-kilometer reconstruction and revival zone was previously home to 8,000 residents, but after decontamination was completed, only 160 returned. Over the years without human presence, these once cozy places have transformed into eerie post-apocalyptic locations. The United States suffers from the destructive power of tornadoes more than any other country in the world, with approximately 1,000 tornadoes recorded each year. A particularly prominent zone of increased danger is the so-called Tornado Alley. It includes areas of the central and southern states, northern Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, eastern South Dakota, and Colorado. This zoning has objective reasons. It is in the central United States that warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico meets cold, dry northerly winds. This creates a temperature inversion and the unstable atmosphere that leads to severe thunderstorms, hail, and tornadoes. Tornado Alley is most dangerous from April to June. It is during these months that tornado hunters from all over the world flock to the region. And for those who live here permanently, the threat of tornadoes is a constant concern. Cities in these states have strict building safety standards, and many are equipped with underground shelters. Residents are also warned of the possible approach of a tornado by special sirens. Despite all measures, the force of the elements is too great. This video shows the aftermath of a powerful tornado that struck the town of Andover, Kansas, in the spring of 2022. In just a few minutes, the EF3 tornado destroyed more than 100 homes. This is arguably one of the most hostile places to humans on the entire planet. Arid and hot Death Valley in California. This intermountain basin in the Maha Desert region is located southeast of the Sierra Mountains of Nevada. Rainfall here is a true miracle. The average annual precipitation is no more than 10 millimeters. But there's no shortage of sunshine. The average maximum temperature in July reaches 46 degrees Celsius, and in 1913, an all-time high of 56.7 degrees Celsius was set here in the Western Hemisphere. The climatic phenomenon of the basin, which is also the lowest point in North America, 86 meters below sea level, poses a serious threat to travelers. Tourists are strongly advised to stock up on communication devices, water, and clothing that protects against burns. Even the valley's name derives from a tragic incident in 1849 when a gold prospector died here in the extreme heat. Yes, it's hard to believe that in the 21st century, ships need to be equipped with protection against pirate boarding. Sailors from various countries were forced to resort to such measures due to the piracy crisis that escalated in the Gulf of Aden in the early 2000s. This gulf in the Arabian Sea plays an important economic role, serving as a waterway for transporting oil from the Persian Gulf to Europe. This is what criminals in Somalia, an East African country engulfed in the chaos of civil war, took advantage of. For a significant portion of the population, piracy has become a professional occupation. Pirates, armed with small arms and grenade launchers, attack tankers and other civilian vessels in small boats, then demand a ransom of several $1 million for their release. Dozens of sailors were killed or went missing during the attacks. Over the course of several years, pirates hijacked dozens of ships, and their revenue exceeded Somalia's GDP. In 2010 alone, the damage from ship hijackings amounted to $8 billion. Regular maritime robbery was only stopped after 2012, when the UN issued a resolution allowing naval ships from various countries to enter Somali's territorial waters and engage pirates. From a bird's-eye view, the islet of Quemada Grande, which covers only 43 hectares, looks picturesque and inviting. But that's only until you discover its main secret. In fact, even swimming near this island off the coast of the Brazilian state of São Paulo is prohibited by law. It is one of the most dangerous places in the world, home to 4,000 snakes. This natural serpentarium emerged about 11,000 years ago when rising sea levels cut the island off from the mainland. As a result, a huge endemic population of snakes from the Viperidae family, the island Bothrops, has emerged here. Their numbers here are simply insane. There are between 1 and 5 reptiles per square meter. It is literally impossible for a person to take a single step. Hundreds of Bothrops lie on the beach and curl into enormous balls in trees and bushes. These are quite large snakes, up to a meter long, with a massive head and a golden coloration with dark spots. High competition for food has made these vipers champions in venom toxicity. A bitten mouse dies within 2 seconds, and it is also mortally dangerous for humans. It causes a range of terrible consequences, from kidney failure to internal bleeding and tissue death. These deserted places resemble a strange dream or the location of a computer game. These shots show Tianduquan, one of China's ghost towns, a miniature version of Paris. We're used to thinking of ghost towns as once thriving places now abandoned. But in modern China, it's the opposite. These are entirely new developments, districts, or even cities that were designed to accommodate a large number of residents, but ended up uninhabited. For example, Tianduquan was built in 2007 with a capacity of 10,000. The reasons are economic. The country experienced a long-standing construction boom, and in some places, development was carried out recklessly, without market analysis. It also happens that people buy real estate as an investment, but don't move into new buildings due to a lack of infrastructure. One striking example is the city of Ords. In 2004, a suburb designed for 1 million people was built in the center of the coal industry, but only 30,000 moved there in the first 8 years. It's surprising that such desolate and eerily quiet places have emerged in crowded and noisy China. These aren't exactly the kind of creatures you dream of seeing on a nature trip. But for Fraser Island, off the east coast of Australia, this is the norm. The largest sand island in the world, with a total area of 1,840 square kilometers, is literally teeming with fauna that aren't the most friendly to humans. For 750,000 years, sand has accumulated on this volcanic island, which now forms dunes that constantly shift through dense mangrove forests and swamps. Through evolution, a unique, isolated ecosystem has formed here. 47 species of mammals, 354 species of birds, 79 species. Reptiles, including 19 species of snakes, are found here. Among other spider species, one of the most venomous in the world, the long-toothed hairy spider, lives here. The island's most famous species, however, are the dingo dogs, whose population numbers approximately 200 individuals. Warnings about the dangers of these red dogs are posted throughout Fraser Island, and campsites are surrounded by electric fences. Tourists and fishermen visiting Sand Island should remember that, despite their harmless appearance, dingoes are completely wild pack animals that can pose a serious threat. Hidden 300 meters beneath the Mexican town of Nica lies one of the most captivating places on the planet, the Cave of Crystals. This amazing part of the mine, where silver, zinc, and lead are extracted, was discovered by miners in 2000. Giant selenite crystals crisscross the cavern in various directions. The largest of them is phenomenal in size, 11 meters long and 4 meters wide, weighing 55 tons. But don't get too excited. This cave's beauty can be deceptive. Staying here is dangerous to your health and life. The cave is constantly flooded, requiring water to be pumped out. Humidity reaches 100%, and the temperature underground rises to 58 degrees Celsius. Even with cooling equipment, you can't stay here longer than 20 minutes, otherwise water will begin to condense in your lungs. Crystal Cave is a place where nature reveals its power and beauty, but also reminds us of the fragility of human life. Boiling Lake is located in the island nation of Dominica, amid the tropical forests of Mornitroit-Pitons National Park. The lake is inaccessible by car. Travelers must hike approximately 13 kilometers along scenic trails, passing through Titus Gorge, the Breakfast River, and the sulfur springs of Desolation Valley. A strange sight awaits those who make it. The lake resembles a boiling cauldron of grayish-brown liquid. Swimming in the pool, which is approximately 60 meters in diameter, is definitely a bad idea. The temperature in Boiling Lake reaches 92 degrees Celsius. Furthermore, there may be currents of hot air